Most of us have heard about the rapture, right? That moment when believers are supposed to be caught up to meet the Lord. But here's a question that's kind of fascinating. When they go up, where do they actually go? Okay, let's dive into this because the answer is way more of a puzzle than you might think. And this is where it gets really interesting. You'd think there would be one clear answer, but when you start looking into it, the exact destination seems to change. So are we talking about one spot, or is this some kind of multi-stop heavenly tour? And boom, there's our mystery. Scripture says they're caught up in the air. Okay, but it also talks about a group standing on a mountain and another group gathering by a sea. I mean, those sound like three completely different places. So how do we make sense of this? Let's start breaking down the clues. So our first piece of evidence is probably the one everyone knows. It's this idea of a massive meeting, but it's not happening on Earth. It's taking place somewhere way up above us. Right, this verse from 1 Thessalonians is the classic. It just paints this incredible picture, doesn't it? A huge collective liftoff into the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. It's like the ultimate rendezvous between heaven and earth. Now, here's what's really key about this, according to the source material. It's all about the timing and the why. This isn't just a friendly get-together. It's a strategic extraction. It's basically a rescue mission, getting believers to a safe zone right before those final 7 plagues are unleashed on the world. All right, let's look at our second clue, because this one adds a totally new layer. Now we're introduced to a very specific group of people at a very specific, famous landmark. Mount Zion. So, here in Revelation, the whole scene shifts. We're not just vaguely in the air anymore. No, this is a solid location, Mount Zion. And on it is a group identified as the 144,000, standing with the Lamb. That seems to throw a bit of a wrench in the whole floating in the clouds idea, doesn't it? So, what exactly is Mount Zion? Well, it's important to know we're not just talking about the physical hill in Jerusalem. Symbolically, it's way, way bigger than that. It represents the very seat of God's power, his heavenly temple, his throne. You could call it the ultimate divine headquarters. And this group, the 144,000, who are they? Well, they're shown as this special, distinct group who are sealed for protection. Their job is to prophesy and bear witness during that intense period of tribulation, acting almost like a front line against evil. They're even called the first fruits, like a special initial offering from all of humanity. Okay, time for our third and final clue to add to this puzzle. And this one introduces yet another group and another completely unique, otherworldly location. Check this out. This passage in Revelation gives us a totally different image. Here we have a group of people who won the victory over the beast. And where are they? They're standing on a sea of glass holding harps. It's just this incredible picture of triumph and worship. A sea of glass? What in the world is that? Well, the interpretation is that it's a symbolic spot, this crystal clear, pavement-like area right in front of God's throne. You can kind of think of it as the ultimate boundary marker, separating the sacred space of God's presence from everything else. And the people standing there, the source is very clear. These are the martyrs. These are the saints who went through the great tribulation. They resisted the beast, and they were victorious because they stayed faithful, even when it cost them their lives. Their place by the sea is a symbol of that victory. So, let's recap. We've got 3 clues: the air, Mount Zion, and the Sea of Glass. They all seem like different places for different people. But what if they aren't? Time to put these puzzle pieces together. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Are we looking at some complex travel plan with a bunch of different stops? Or are we just getting 3 different camera angles of the exact same place, just described with different symbols? And here it is, the big reveal. The theory presented in the source material is that it's not 3 places at all. It is one single destination, the very presence of God's throne. The different descriptions are just different ways of explaining the meaning of being there. So you can think of it like this. In the air is the symbol for the meeting. Mount Zion is the symbol for God's authority and holiness. And the Sea of Glass symbolizes the immediate vicinity of the throne. All 3 are just different facets of the same incredible reality, being brought directly into the presence of God. Okay, but that begs the question, right? If it's all the same place, Why use such different descriptions? And the answer is actually really cool. It has nothing to do with geography, it's all about function. The descriptions are there to highlight the different jobs, the different roles these saints are going to have. See, you've got the 144,000 on Mount Zion. Think of them as the protectors. They're on a mission to prophecy and actively confront evil. Then you have the victorious martyrs by the sea. They represent the protected, the ones whose mission was to endure and overcome. So they have different jobs, they even sing different songs, but they all share the same victory and the same final destination. So now let's zoom out. How does all of this fit together into the bigger picture, into a single timeline of events? And here's a really critical point. This huge event, the first resurrection, isn't some exclusive party just for people from the end times. No, the idea here is that it includes all faithful martyrs from the very beginning of history. They all get raised together in this one moment. So here's how the sequence apparently shakes out. Step 1, the resurrection of all these martyrs. Step 2, they all ascend to the throne, to that single destination we've been talking about. Step 3, while they're safe up there, the final judgments, those 7 plagues, hit the earth. And then, step 4, they come back with Christ, not as scared refugees, but as a triumphant heavenly army. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's a complete flip of the script. They are taken up to escape judgment, but then they return to help execute it. It's a pretty dramatic transformation. And that leaves us with a pretty powerful idea to chew on. The journey isn't just about getting to a safe place. It's about a complete change of identity. From the rescued to the rescuers, from the protected to the protectors. And what that really implies about purpose and destiny, well, that's a profound thought to end on.